Welcome to Aromatic Chat, the podcast that introduces you to registered, clinical, and certified aromatherapists around the world. Every other week, my mom sits down with a different aromatherapist to learn about their aromatic journey and how they use essential oils in their lives and businesses. Aromatic Chat is produced by Lemon Balm Coaching, and my mom, Melissa, is your host. She is a master transformational coach and a registered aromatherapist.
Friends, welcome to episode number 79, Aromatic Chat with Magali Penoel. Magali has created an amazing full sensory somatic experience, bringing together her lifetime of aromatic immersion, her Hebraic background, her love of dance, and her North African roots. I know you are going to love hearing her story, so let's get started.
Thank you so much, Magali, for being here today on Aromatic Chat. I had sent a message to someone else and you intercepted it. And I was so glad that you reached out to me because you have something really, really cool that I can't wait for the listeners to hear about. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me here.
Excellent. So the very first thing always I love to do is just get your story, your aromatic journey. And I have a feeling yours is going to be very interesting. So just share with us, your story. How did you get where you are doing aroma body sound?
Yeah, basically, I come from a family where we use plants, okay, not just essential oils. My father's, is one of the pioneer in medical aromatherapy. So really using essential oils to treat, pathologies. But my mother also is from North Africa. And in North Africa, we use storytelling, we use plants to soothe, to alleviate, suffering. So I thought it would be interesting to bring those two expertise, more the European-centered side of my father and the more North African side of my mother. And I didn't really think it this way, it just happened to be. And to integrate it into a holistic approach. So having an essential oils and breathing and feeling and putting onto the skin and knowing the properties and the molecules and all that is fine. But how about moving with it? How about making sound? And my background is also about teaching dance. I've been coaching women for over 20 years around Egyptian dancing. So Egyptian dancing is a lot about not just not putting too much pressure on your body, but feeling the flow in your body and respecting the way you move, etc. And I thought it would be nice to have the basic of the dance, which comes from Africa, which is what we call the body percussions. So I transformed this dance into body percussion to make it accessible to anybody from 4 years old to 91 years old. You can do it lying down. You can do it standing up, sitting down. So it was really about reaching all those people, regardless of gender, regardless of culture. And you have more and more people, I'm not sure about the English term, but in French we say neuroatypic. Is that English also?
Yes.
Like people, thinking differently, acting differently, but they always face themselves in a bottle which doesn't fit with who they are. So all life long, from 3 years old or as a toddler, they're trying to fit into a square when they are around. And I thought, you know what? If no one is ever going to offer you a different frame, you're never going to make it. So I thought it would be interesting to target those people. And I had the opportunity to work with various background, culture, people thinking differently. And it works just marvelously because you target different sensorial canal, different senses. So you can see, you can breathe, you can touch, you can hear, and you can use it in very many, many different contexts. So, I went beyond your initial question about.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect. I have had that conversation with so many parents of kids who are not neurotypical, right?
Right,
Kids,
right. I'm happy to. Can you say that again? Neurotypical, yeah.
Neurotypical. So that would be
exactly.
Like the box, right? The neurotypical people fit in the box. Right. So
yeah.
The non-neurotypical people are the people like on the spectrum or ADHD, things like that. But I've had this conversation with lots of moms because they berate themselves
because
Right.
they can't make their kid fit into the box.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The question I always ask, the question I ask is, well, if you believe in God, do you believe that God makes mistakes?
That's a good question.
And they're like, well, no. I said, then your child is exactly how he is supposed to be.
Right.
And
Beautiful.
just because we have a box that we expect everyone to fit into, it doesn't mean that they're going to fit. And that doesn't mean that they're wrong. It means our box is wrong. We need a different box.
Yeah.
We just need to throw the box away is what we need to do. So
yeah, I love the way you phrase that. Exactly. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so I would just love for you to really dive into this aroma body sound, because you've made a couple of body percussions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to let you run with this.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is what the basic sounds we have. I don't know if you can see it clearly.
Okay.
That's okay. Snapping.
Like a snap.
Yes. Here is clapping your hands. So very, very simple.
Okay.
Exactly. And then we have the torso. Absolutely.
Okay.
And then the last one is stomping your foot.
Okay.
So right. Basically, you have 4 sounds, like the 4 elements. So this could be like, when you take a match, it has this very quick sound. So would you say which element is that?
Would it be air?
So air is coming later on, but when you take a match and you're trying to lit the flame, it's the element which is
fire.
Fire.
And my brain didn't quite catch that. Fire.
That's okay. And then when you put your hand here you have the rhythmic, you have the heart, you have the lungs, you have the breath.
Okay.
So here is the element which is called air.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have another element which is called water. And then stomping your foot would be the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's interesting, I don't know if that's going to be clear, but I'll try to tell it to you. You have 4 elements that create the universe, basically, but you also have 4 what you call nucleotide. Nucleotide is the base of the DNA. With those 4 bases, you can create 22 letters. With those 22 letters, you create the whole universe. Now, those 22 letters are also called amino acids. I've created 22 rituals based on the 22 amino acids, like like a puzzle or how do you say jigsaw or jig?
Yeah, you're correct.
So I'm using those 22 letters, I call it letters, to rebalance and restructure your body. So basically, any amino acid in the world, I can tell you the sonic code of those amino acids, and I can transpose them into the body. So I would say it's a body approach, but it's also an intellectual approach. I'm not saying it like this, it's maybe not so clear, but I can tell you when we do workshop and we take the code with the universe, and regardless of your background, maybe you've stopped school, you were 13 or 15, you do understand because you just have 4 letters that you transpose. So it's like a game, and this game is like feeding you not only like emotionally but intellectually. So that's what I love about this method, is that people, like especially women, say, oh, no, don't talk about DNA, the more intellectual side, that's more my husband. I say, no, don't say it, it's more your husband. Take your power as a woman. Taking your power as a woman, it's not just your body. It's your body, your mind, but also your scientific side. And I want to go and see your scientific side, but let's make it alive. Okay, you tell me tryptophan. I go like, okay, let's do methionine. There will be another sound. So each of the songs has a correspondent. Okay, I wasn't expecting to tell you that, but I think it's important to know that there's a poly approach to the method I've created. And I'm telling you, we are having fun. My girl, she's 8. I've just bought an amino acid and we can taste it. And she said, this is glycine. It's really sweet. What about methionine, the amino acid that has created the world? Do you want to taste it? Do you think it's sweet, sour? And you taste it, the amino acid that creates the world is sulfur. It's not good.
Mm.
Why? You can give interpretation and create a storytelling, because healing is not just what is in the vial. Healing is about the story that you're making of why am I here? Why do the beginning of life has a taste which is sulfur? All those things, and we having fun basically.
Oh my word. That's really amazing. I love that you're taking a somatic approach. And by that, I mean body approach,
Yeah,
because not just the people that don't fit in the box, right? But I think
yeah,
all of us, we come into the world and
yeah.
we're pure. We're pure when we come
Oh,
into the
wow, wow.
world.
I love that. I love that. I didn't say it, but I'm glad you heard that. Yes.
Yeah, we haven't had the experiences and the thoughts and the beliefs and the
Right.
everything that create who we are as adults.
Yeah.
And as adults, we've set aside who we really are
Mm-hmm.
to be who we think we should be in the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
taking this type of approach where you're using all of the senses, bringing it back into the body, is just a
Mm.
beautiful opportunity for people to reconnect with
Mm-hmm.
who they were designed to be at the very beginning. I think we're all brought into the world for a purpose and a reason. I don't think any of us are by chance. But then we set aside, who we really truly are for who we think we need to be. And I just love this approach of bringing it all back into the body so that we can actually discover who we were meant to be.
Okay.
Because
Now
that's
you
our
tell
gift to the world, right? That's our gift to the world. So I'm sorry I
no,
cut you
that
off.
no, because I wouldn't have phrased it this way, but I'm so glad that you put it this way. So, how did you get this message? How do you, from what I said, because I didn't say what you say, but how did you get the message? Exactly what I'm working on. Remember who you are.
Right.
And the
That's
part of
the
you,
that's the same
yeah.
thing I have been working on, Magali.
Oh, yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing I'm working on
yeah,
in my practice
exactly.
is getting people
Wow,
to return to who they were meant to be, reconnect with the mind, body, spirit, so that they can
exactly.
actually bring their gifts to the world.
Exactly. And I really loved what you said. It's the pure part of you has not been damaged. It has not been damaged. You think
It's
it is
still there.
damaged, but exactly. That's why I want to go back to the source. That's why I talk about DNA. That's why I talk about the universal code, because maybe you have an arm, well, and limb or an arm which is not there anymore, but the source of it is still there. I want you to connect to that. And I think you can connect it if you remember how small you were. If you remember the original code, and the original code was about also making maths, about science, about body. So let's interconnect and link everything. Go back to the source where everything was blended, nothing was separated. The eyes, the nose, and the mouth when you were in your mummy's tummy, or you were just small like this, your original cell. And I want you to connect and to go back to the state. So it's exactly what you said. Yeah.
Oh my word. So we did not mention your last name when I said hello to you. And you said
Mm.
something about your father and how you've grown
Mm.
up with all of these things. And I'm curious because I mean, you did say your mother's North African, your father's European, but like, how did you get here? Like, how did you get all of this going on inside? Because this is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I have maybe to tell you about my origin is Hebraic origin, and we work a lot in what we call the Talmud, and we are used to like jumping from one area to the other, and we focus on gematria, which is the letters and the numbers. It's not just here you have the letters, here you have the numbers. It's all blended, and you always have different layers of analysis. So I think it comes from my background also, and my interest into, I said the 22 amino acids, but I could have said the 22 Hebraic letters, which have constructed the world. So to me, there's a link. I say, oh, 22 here, 22 here. Interesting. Let's dig into it. And people say, no, 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 you're going too fast. I say, yes, I want to go. There's something interesting here. So I want to go there. And maybe that's one of it's a way of answering your question.
That's amazing. So you just naturally have this amazing curious mind.
I'm curious because I think, I've traveled a lot as a child. My parents have always had this somatic, as you said, a tactile approach. I remember them like massaging the feet and going to Australia. Apparently, I still have the Australian accent when I say Australia. Going to Australia and see this big eucalyptus and tea tree plantations, it opens your mind. And I was encouraged to do that. I had parents who say, go for it, go. So I had this cultural background, which is a chance. And then I moved a lot, and I'm curious anyway. I always want to go further and dig more and
That's
more.
amazing. So what made you settle in France? If you've traveled so much, what drew you back to France?
Well, very simply, when I used to live in London and, I was teaching there, I was teaching languages and teaching, as I said, Oriental dancing. And I met a lady and she said, "Oh, essential oil?" I said, "Yeah, I know essential." I said, "I know there's a great man. He's French. It's called Dr. Penoel." I say, yeah, he's my father, actually. And she was like, "Oh, is he your father?" And I thought, hang on a minute. Maybe I should like sort of go and see my father back to France and start creating a school, because there's a wealth of knowledge that just a tiny part of the population in the world has. That's such a pity. So I came back to France. I said to my father, now we're going to create a school. And it was like 10 years like working with him, because he has a wealth of knowledge and it's about medicine and science. And sometimes I was like, oh, it's too much for me to take in. But I say, let's go for it, because if we don't share the knowledge, if I can't share the knowledge, it's just going to be lost in 10 years or 15 years time. I wanted really to for him to share his knowledge for me and for me to share it. So that's why I came back to France, to be close to my father and to work with him.
And is the school still in operation today?
It's still in operation. It's in France.
Oh, tell us a little bit about the school.
Well, he has created what he calls quantum aromatherapy. So he went out of the box, as you said. And to go out of this box, he said, okay, the medical approach is fine, but there's another approach that we need now to take into consideration, which is the quantum part and the quantum field. So he has published a book like 12 years ago, Quantum Aromatherapy, Aromathérapie quantique in French, to give another vision of aromatherapy. So he doesn't let go of his medical side, but he integrates it into something larger. Because healing, he says like that, and I love what he says, healing is not in the vial. Yeah, healing is not in the vial. I'm not going to sell a lot of essential oils if you say that, but the essential is part of a process. And coming from a doctor who says, yes, I'm healing with essential oils, it was like a big shock for some people, saying, "Ooh, Dr. Penoel has gone woohoo, like what's going on?" Right. It's just that when you're a healer, may you be a medical doctor or naturopath or whatever, when you are a healer, you need to be aware that healing can't be just in a vial. That's the other thing. So yeah, the school is still operating. We're having masterclasses in French and English, so that you can find on our website. Some of them are just free, so just feel free to go on our website and click on free English masterclasses so that you can get them. But because of the COVID-19, we started to do like more online courses and less like on-site courses. Right. But
I would be curious to know if you would be willing to share a story about how aroma body sound has helped one of your students.
Body sound can be used like in very specific context. Say you don't want to take the plane because you're afraid of flying, okay? Body percussion and using sound and music. For example, it can be, I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it properly? And when you're going to use this ritual, you're going to breathe more properly, and you can, use an essential oils to breathe also. And then it helps them like flying, say, oh, it was okay. I went from France to New York or whatever. And usually I'm tense. I can't stand like, close to people, and it was fine. So that's very like specific example how to use aroma body sound in like, context where you are not so confident, or if you have a driving license to take and you're not so confident driving it. Right. Some people take an essential oil, some would take homeopathy. Why not use your inner resources?
A tool that you have right here.
Right, exactly. Because the thing is, you say, oh, well, I don't have my essential oils yet, but you have this, you have that. So
That's amazing.
I want them to be, empowered back. Remember, you have your own inner pharmacy.
Right.
Use it. No, most importantly, to use it, you have to believe in it, and you have to recover your memory, because all the marketing tools are here to tell you how bad you are and how you should buy all of this, even essential oils.
The mission of Aromatic Chat is to connect you with people. So how can people find you and what you're doing with Aroma Body Sound and with your school, with your dad? How can people connect with you?
Yeah, I have a website which introduces my method and my courses. I know it's in French, but and then I have also a website where we sell essential oils.
Beautiful.
So we do like our research, and then we offer it to the audience. So we have I have a website for Aroma Body Sound and another one for the to find the essential oils. It's osmobios.com. So yeah.
Excellent. Beautiful. I would love to connect more with you, because I feel like we're in the same arena doing the same type of work differently, but very similar. And I'm just so thankful for you being here today.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you. If you feel like that interview ended a little abruptly, you're not alone, because we were having some internet difficulties. As amazing as our world is and how connected we all are now, we do still have technical issues sometimes, and today was one of those times. But I think you really got a good feeling for Magali. I had no idea that she was doing the work that she is doing in our world. What an amazing idea to put together sound and aroma and movement into Aroma Body Sound. I am just floored with the work that she is doing over in France. Here we are, half a world away, and we're in the same arena, trying to help people reconnect their mind and body and spirit in a way that allows them to live their best life and live out who they were designed, created, whatever word you want to use, to be. I just love that there are so many people doing this kind of work in the world right now, which is also kind of sad, because that tells me that it is desperately needed. And maybe you're one of the people that needs to reconnect with who you were designed to be. And if that's you, I encourage you to reach out to Magali or reach out to me. We're doing the same type of work, just a little bit differently. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Magali Penoel. I will include her contact information and any links mentioned in the show notes. Every time you listen, share, and review the podcast, you're supporting the mission of Aromatic Chat to connect people with the aromatherapist that meets their wellness needs. Aromatic Chat is produced by Lemon Balm Coaching. I'm your host, Melissa, Master Transformational Coach, Registered Aromatherapist, and Energetic Healer. My passion is working with people who are emotionally numb, the people that we were talking about today, the ones that don't fit into the box. And even if you do fit in the box, you're not comfortable there. I walk beside you as you reconnect your mind, body, and spirit so that you can heal. You can connect with me on the web at lemonbalmcoaching.com and Instagram at lemonbalmcoaching. I will see you next time with our next episode. Until then, peace, love, and aromatics.